Hello guys, this is Trade of the Day. I'll be going over today's trade that I made on Wednesday, February 15, 2017. As a reminder, this video is for learning purposes only. Alright guys, so today I am excited to talk about my biotech trade. I banked on this trade, uh, really good trade, and in order to explain this trade and the reason why I made this trade and how it works and why it worked and why I was confident enough to kind of go bigger than what I usually go on this trade. I have to kind of show you a little bit more history on what's been happening in the biotech industry. So it's a little bit more complicated than the regular trade, but these are very profitable trades because they gives you more confidence to go bigger. There's a catalyst involved, and also the chart is telling you a story that is going to give you high reward to risk ratio on your trade. So going back, I have to kind of go back actually to 2015. In 2015, Hillary Clinton sent out a tweet on September. Here is actually this date right here, September 21st, pretty much criticizing the whole biotech industry. You know, hey, you guys are price gouging. You guys are taking advantage of the consumers. Your prices of your pharmaceutical drug are too expensive. In a way, it's actually true. They've been known to some pharmaceutical companies been known to sell their drugs like 10 times more expensive than in other countries here in the what I mean. So if you buy the same drugs here in the US versus in Canada, you literally, it's a huge price difference. It's insane how different the prices are. It's kind of ridiculous, like you could probably buy like a drug here in the United States. A drug may cost you $500 per bottle. The same drug in Canada may cost you like $50, maybe even $30. It's crazy. So I could see what she was criticizing, but that comments literally knocked down the whole sector, the whole industry. You see these huge red candles, huge sell-offs, and then it literally just started a downtrend. Downtrend since 2015, and again, this is because Hillary Clinton was running for presidency. So if she were to be elected, she was gonna hit the biotech industry hard and regulate it, and make it harder or actually regulate prices, which will definitely affect the profitability, the bottom line of biotech companies. So that's the reason why it was so important, and that's the reason why the whole industry started a downtrend. So it just downtraded all 2006. It was just literally range bound. It was just no direction, just going back and forth, going back and forth. You did have a couple dip buys, pull back to support and pull back. So I did kind of trade those setups, but there's really kind of no real trend forming. Then November 9th, election day, guess what? Donald Trump won. So that was a huge surprise, huge catalyst. Again, Donald Trump is more business friendly. His goal is to lower taxes, make it easier for business to make money, reduce regulations, etc., etc. So when he was elected, there was a huge volume spurge here on November 9th, and the price spiked. But I guess the price didn't stick because it started a downtrend again. And I think the reason was because it was too soon to know what was going to happen. There was no talk about what was Donald Trump going to do in the biotech industry. How is he going to deregulate it, or what is he going to do? So when there's a lot of, I guess, unknowns, again, it doesn't really give a lot of investors reasons to kind of go big or keep adding into their position. So it just literally started raging again. And on this day, January 11th, the first press that Donald Trump had after winning the election, he actually criticized the whole industry. He literally criticized them for getting away with murder in terms of prices, and their drugs and what they sold. And he said that he was going to do something to kind of reduce the prices. So that happened, and boom, again started the downtrend. So when these type of things are said with a president of the United States, I mean, it's kind of hard to invest long term if you're an institutional investor or trader to really invest long term in this industry. So that's where the money flow comes in with big investors, traders with big money who want to invest for long term. That's where the opportunity really comes. The good thing though is that on January 31st, there was a meeting between the President of the United States, Donald Trump, and the pharmaceutical industry, executives from that industry to kind of figure out what they're going to do about prices and how to help the industry. So overall, Donald Trump does want to reduce prices on drugs. He mentioned that he wants to do everything he can, but at the same time, he wants to help the industry. So in order for them to do that, what he said and his goal, he's pretty much going to deregulate it. His main goal is he's going to make it easier for pharmaceutical drugs to be approved by the FDA, and that's one of the biggest things that causes drugs to be so expensive in the United States, because it does take longer for them to be approved here in the United States because of heavy regulation. With that reduced amount of regulation, again, it's going to be easy for drugs to be approved and be out in the market, so companies can kind of recoup their investment on that research and that drug that they made. So that was a huge news. And of course, besides that, of course, taxes. He said he was going to lower taxes. He wants to bring jobs back to the United States, and all that kind of good stuff. So that kind of helped the whole industry, the whole sector. It did started a trend. So I actually got in on that day, on January 31st, when I saw the huge volume spurge here. But I actually didn't trade IBB, which is the Nasdaq Biotechnology. I traded LABU, which is a leverage version. So I can get more bang for my buck on this trade. So I did buy on this day. And the reason why I bought it was because the catalyst, the news, there was no longer hanging overhead news that could affect the prices and maybe crash it. Because again, Donald Trump already spoke with the pharmaceutical industry. They all came to a consensus what was going to happen. He was going to work with the FDA to kind of roll back some regulations to make it easier for them to release the drugs, etc., lower taxes. Pretty much overall good for the industry. So of course, long-term investors, traders, they went big, and I also went big myself. So I did kind of double down on this trade just because of the overall macro setup. The overall picture looked good in the industry, and also the chart. I did notice that every time there was a huge spike in volume in a breakout, there was a huge pops to the resistance levels. So I did notice here on January 14, when there was January 4th, when there was a huge volume spike, it literally just popped. Also here in the election, it was a huge volume spike, it just popped up. So I was looking for some sort of trade like that. I was looking for this to kind of just pop up, and it exactly did that. So it was a great trade overall. Even the technicals look good, the chart looked good. There was a triangle flag breakout in the 6-month chart. So it was just a good trade overall, and it kind of gave me confidence to kind of go bigger than the usual trade. This kind of trade reminds me of the oil and energy trade that I made a couple of months ago. So again, it was all about the catalyst, understanding the overall picture, what's affecting the industry, the sectors. Again, that gives you an edge, and as a trader, you need to have an edge. It's important to have an edge, and that's what makes you profitable. So I did enter around 39 with my stop below the candle. It was a perfect technical type of candle. It was called a bullish engulfing candle, and it just literally hit my target at 2-to-1 today, and I was up, took my profits, and called it a day. I really think in the future the biotech industry is going to start trending again, just because there is no more that overhead ban news. Of course, as investors and traders, they are going to be looking for regulation. Are these laws really going to pass? Is it really going to be deregulated? So those are going to be the future catalysts, of this industry. Are these deregulations really going to happen? Are they going to pass? All that kind of stuff. So I'll keep that in mind, back in my head. But overall, I already took my profits, called it a day. If you have questions about this trade, hey, feel free to give me a comment. If you liked it, please click like. If you have friends who are interested in trading, hey, please share this video, and please subscribe to my channel, and you will be hearing from me soon. Thank you very much.